Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving right into unlocking the everyday mystery of something that is almost certainly sitting in your kitchen, your pantry, and believe it or not, even your bathroom right now. It's something we consume and use constantly, yet we rarely think twice about it. I'm talking about palm oil. We're going to look strictly at the facts to uncover exactly how it's made, whether it's actually safe, and what you really need to know to make informed choices as a consumer.
Section 1. Where is palm oil? You might just think of it as a generic cooking medium, right? But it's actually this hidden foundational ingredient in a staggering amount of everyday goods. From the biscuits and chips you blindly snack on during a movie, to the smooth, rich texture of the chocolates and ice creams you grab for dessert. And its utility doesn't even stop at food, which is what makes it so incredibly fascinating. It's a fundamental ingredient that creates that thick lather in the soaps you wash your hands with, and it allows for the smooth application of the cosmetics you might use daily. It is truly everywhere you look, acting as the invisible glue that holds so many of our consumer products together.
Section 2. How is it made?
Okay, so it all kicks off with the oil palm tree. These trees thrive primarily in tropical climates and produce these large, heavy bunches of vibrant, red fruits. Now here's a really cool distinction that most folks simply don't know. True palm oil is extracted straight from the soft, fleshy pulp of those fruits. But hidden deep inside that fruit is a seed, and the oil extracted from that seed is called palm kernel oil. They are two entirely different oils with completely different chemical properties and uses, all coming from the exact same piece of fruit.
Let's track this journey chronologically, straight from the tropical plantation to the factory floor. It starts with the harvest, where these massive fresh fruit bunches are carefully cut down from the trees. To soften them up and really prepare them for extraction, they get heavily treated with hot, pressurized steam. Once they're softened, heavy industrial machinery presses that fleshy pulp to literally squeeze out the raw natural oil. From there, it undergoes some really strict filtration to pull out any physical impurities, dirt, or fibers before finally hitting the refining stage to make it commercially viable for the global market. And that final refining process triggers a massive visual and chemical transformation. When it first comes out of the press, unrefined palm oil is this striking deep red color. In this raw state, it's actually packed with natural, beneficial nutrients like beta-carotene and vitamin E. However, through the heavy industrial refining process, which is absolutely necessary to neutralize strong odors and flavors for mass production, it loses that vibrant red color and all those rich natural nutrients. It transforms into the light yellow, completely neutral liquid we are all used to seeing in bottles on the grocery store shelf.
Section 3. Is it adulterated?
Food safety experts draw a super hard line on this one. You should absolutely only ever buy from trusted, recognized brands. Recognized companies strictly use advanced technical purifying methods to strip out impurities and odor without adding external chemicals or mixing in cheaper, low-quality oils. On the flip side, if you purchase from unverified, low-quality or illicit manufacturers, you're running a really serious risk. These shady sources often cut corners. They'll mix in cheap alternative oils, banned artificial colors just to mimic the unrefined oil, and dangerous chemical adulterants to stretch their product and save a buck. When it comes down to what you put in your body, quality assurance is literally everything.
Section 4. Good or bad for health? Look, because palm oil isn't totally toxic, but it's definitely not a miracle health food either, we have to objectively weigh its culinary pros against its medical cons. On the plus side, it is incredibly stable at high temperatures, which makes it the absolute perfect candidate for long periods of heavy frying without burning. It also does retain some trace amounts of vitamin E and antioxidants, and economically speaking, it is vastly cheaper to produce than almost any other vegetable oil out there. But we cannot ignore the biological cons here. It is notoriously high in saturated fat. Decades of medical research make it crystal clear. Consuming it frequently and in large amounts can significantly increase the risk of serious heart-related issues over time.
Because of those incredibly high levels of saturated fats, certain groups really need to be particularly mindful of their intake. If you or your loved ones are dealing with pre-existing heart disease, high cholesterol, obesity, or diabetes, you've got to exercise extreme caution with this ingredient. For anyone falling into these vulnerable categories, medical and nutritional experts strongly advise using palm oil only in very, very limited quantities, and ideally under strict professional dietary guidance so you don't aggravate those underlying conditions. Section 5. Why used in hotels? So if it carries these distinct health warnings and high saturated fat levels, have you ever wondered why commercial kitchens absolutely rely on it? Why on earth would a massive commercial bakery or a bustling five-star hotel kitchen choose palm oil over something seemingly healthier like sunflower or olive oil?
Well, the commercial logic is pretty much undeniable when you look at the economics of it. First, the incredibly low price point is just highly attractive for businesses operating on razor-thin margins. Second, and this is absolutely crucial for a commercial kitchen setting, it doesn't break down or spoil quickly upon reheating. This means it can handle the intense, grueling demands of continuous, large-volume deep frying all day long without turning rancid. And finally, it gives the resulting baked goods and snacks an incredibly long shelf life, preventing premature spoilage. For the industrial food complex, it isn't just an ingredient, it's the single most efficient, cost-effective tool for the job.
Section 6. Precautions we must take.
So, how do you practically apply all of this to your own kitchen habits? Nutritionists highly recommend that you don't just stick to one single oil for all your daily cooking needs. Instead, they suggest systematically rotating through different options to maintain a nice, balanced intake of different dietary fats. Depending on the dish you're preparing, consider alternating between peanut oil, sesame oil, sunflower oil, rice bran oil, and mustard oil. This intentional variety is the absolute key to ensuring you aren't over-consuming one specific type of saturated fat day in and day out.
And that brings us to the golden rule of the kitchen, coming straight from global health experts. Listen closely to this one. Whether it's palm oil, sunflower oil, or literally any other cooking oil you prefer, reusing heated oil is actively harmful to your health. Once an oil has been heated to extreme frying temperatures, its chemical structure fundamentally changes, creating some seriously dangerous compounds. It should never be saved, cooled, and heated up again. You use it once, and you dispose of it properly.
We've seen how truly ubiquitous this stuff is, from the way it's grown in the tropics and extracted in heavy factories, to the specific economic reasons it utterly dominates commercial kitchens and our very own pantry shelves. So I want to leave you with this final thought for your next grocery run. Next time you pick up a packaged snack, a simple bar of soap, or a sweet treat, are you going to turn it around and actually check the ingredients list? Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and stay curious.